All right, good day, hi, and welcome. So there's my Lionhead violin. This thing's about 150 years to 200 years old. Like, it's so cool. And I've got its first real track. I used it on my first real track that I used it on. I'm a much better player of instruments when they're in the mix, I find, because I'm not a very good violinist, but I can make enough noise on it that it actually sounds good in the mix. Mandolin player, I'm not a bad mandolin player, but what's great about what I'm doing for the way I'm recording is I'm really going for the, you know, real instrument sound. There's a lot of great things on YouTube that you see where people they have like basically the audio interface goes right into their camera. I don't know how they're doing it exactly, or into the computer and they record with the camera and they do all kinds of stuff. But then there's all this editing after. I don't like doing a lot of editing. I like just getting the ideas done, finished, and produced and done, right? That's why I like this thing. But I find nothing beats the real thing. So instead of a simulated violin, use a real violin. Even a cheap one is going to be cooler. You know what I mean? You want the mandolin, use a real mandolin. You want a guitar, use a real guitar. Whatever you use, try to get as real as you can. The only two instruments left I have to really get for a full band is basically a drum kit, which hopefully I'll get in the next couple of weeks. It won't be an expensive one, but just enough to get the ideas down. The drum kit is the biggest one because it's the noisiest thing that you can possibly play, and it's also the biggest item, right? And then a bass, a real bass. Although I can simulate my electric guitars over there as a bass for into this. It has bass simulators in this, like sound effects wise, so you can turn your guitar into a bass type of thing. I do that often until I get a real bass. The real bass is going to sound better, right? So I want real instruments recorded real, and I don't want to be using drum tracks that a million people have already put stuff over, even if the tracks are free and royalty free or whatever. I want to do it all original. And it's tricky, but that's the way I'm going to do it. It doesn't mean it's the right way or the only way. I mean, you get prearranged drum tracks, you can play like the craziest stuff, bass lines and everything. Like basically a lot of guys are just guitar players that want something to jam along with. That's not a song that they have to worry about copyright. But when you want to create music, you really want to do it all yourself. So I'm going the acoustic way first, even though I am more of a metalhead type of guy, hence the Flying V and the SGs. But for my first vocal album, this will be my third album. I'm going to basically be doing it predominantly acoustic, unless I can get the drum kit here in time for it. But it doesn't matter because right after I'm done those 10 songs of this album that I'm recording, there's going to be another 10 songs. And I'm going to do albums in batches of 10, so to speak. So instrumentals, whatever. I'm kind of getting instrumentaled out, although I probably got about 30 instrumentals sitting on this thing, on the hard drive on this thing. I'll probably release a lot of them as demos, just because it's the same drum beat over and over and over again for like 3 or 4 minutes. So that's why I keep them kind of short. So the monotony, like there's no change in the very cool drum beat, but just no change in it. I just can't seem to figure out the how to get around that. So without getting real drums, and I prefer the sound of real drums anyway. I just realized it says Gibson on my Epiphone here. That's cool. So that must be like 92 or so. This little mandolin, man, is it, even with this mic, which is not the best acoustic recording mic. It's an SM58. These are legendary. They're the industry standard. This is a good live mic. Not so much the best at recording, instruments, acoustic instruments, but it will do the job. But that thing, mandolins just cut right through. Oh, they cut through so nice. And this mandolin I got for like $250 about 2 or 3 years ago, maybe more. Secondhand, it's the M20. It is a great mandolin. It is really good. Whoever set it up, the action on this, like, you can really shred on this mandolin. And I mean, again, I'm a guitar player that plays mandolin, but when I want to let loose on it, it definitely doesn't, and it really has a nice tone to it for a cheap mandolin. It's great. It's great. So you'll be hearing that on that. Even with the that doesn't have too bad of a sound. I just can't figure out what's happening. I can hear the first 3 strings, sets of strings on the piezo, but I can hear the low bass note strings. It doesn't seem to pick up in there. I don't know if it's a glitch on this thing, because when I play it through that, I hear everything. But maybe it's just it needs to be in stereo to pick it up. I don't know. So I'm down to recording that one acoustically with a mic, which gives you better tone per se. But again, I need a better mic to really fully capture the dynamics of the 12 string, or maybe two mics or whatever. We'll see. But this is where I'm starting. I mean, I've had this for a long time, but I figured it's about time I start releasing some music, and we'll get into what my album's going to be about and stuff like that.